Who are you?
Everything led me here. To you. You're the boy from the circus.
You got no place to hide. And I'm feeling like a villain, got a hunger inside. Nowhere to hide from all of this.
Please. Can you help me?
Madness, madness.
Where's Batman? Fuck Batman.
There's something evil inside of me.
You're scared. I get it. But you can control it. You don't know what I've become.
Sometimes, when I feel the darkness, it feels good. My mom says there's no such thing as monsters.
I used to think that. I was wrong.
Madness, madness.
Hey, what is up, guys? It is Slick, or Slick Muff here, back again with another video. In this one, oh boy, where do we even begin? With the Titans trailer. So I wanted to give my thoughts on the trailer as a whole, the tone, the mood, you know, Robin, let's talk about him. Okay, so then we're going to get into Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy. Okay, so overall, I've seen a lot of people complain about the tone of the show, that it's really dark. So first of all, we get out of Robin, as you saw in the trailer, the Batman, and he gets a gun and shoots at people. Now, a lot of people have pointed out that it doesn't look like he kills anybody, which is good. So he just used the gun to startle people. Even still, it's very odd for us to see Bat family members using a gun in any capacity, even if it's not with the intent of using lethal force. Either way, I understand that. Okay, so I'm conceding that point. That's fine. The tone is not the issue for me. I don't have a problem with it. You know, Teen Titans, which is the equivalent of this in the comics right now, is a very light, fun-hearted kind of book, generally. Even Titans, the actual series, which is, you know, like Wally West and among other people, so not this team, which is why it's kind of confusing. Like the Teen Titans in the comics right now is called Titans in the show, but Titans in the anyway, okay, so I'm just not going to go down that route. In the case of Robin, let's talk about him, okay? So the Batman thing, what it looks like to me, in my interpretation of it, is that he's rejecting Batman's values. He's rejecting how he behaves, or he's kind of has daddy issues in a weird way. That's what K-Wing said in his video, and that was actually very well put. So I'll repeat what he said. And you know, it does kind of seem that way, that he resents Batman in a broader sense. And I think that that's pretty self-evident from the trailer, from the Batman. It's kind of twofold. It's like, oh, I'm here, you know, don't worry about Batman, I'm about to kick your ass. So he's telling it to the thugs, but also I think it's twofold. It also is a representation that he's rejecting Batman. He has something against him or resents him for whatever reason. Perhaps he feels kind of used in a way by him as his like sidekick, sort of crime-fighting minion. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All I can say is that when I see him, I really see Jason Todd, to the point in which I almost had to like double guess myself to make sure that it was Dick Grayson. And indeed it is, but he acts nothing like Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson saying the F-bomb is very, very odd. And he's far too serious, to remind me of Dick Grayson. Now, that's not to say Dick Grayson can't have serious moments, but I'm just saying, like, of what we've seen, it's very kind of gritty and moody that really, I think, would work a lot better for Jason Todd. So this begs the question why they didn't just go with him. And now here's the funny part, is that Jason Todd has been confirmed for the show. So Jason's going to be in this. And I can only imagine what he's going to be like. If Dick Grayson is this moody and he's saying fuck Batman and, you know, shooting guns and all this stuff, like, what is Jason Todd going to be doing? Like, is he going to be, like, you know, cutting himself? I mean, I don't mean to be too somber, but where else can you go? How much darker can you get? If Dick Grayson, who's like the pinnacle, happy, boy wonder, is this serious, where can you go? We'll just have to wait and see, of course. Okay, so that's all I have to say about Robin, really. I like his suit. Very, very good suit. And I like that it looks as though Raven and Robin are kind of the stars of this one. It looks like they're going to be the two leading characters, which seems kind of odd because, Dick Grayson is much older than Raven. Raven is like a tween, Generally, she's depicted as like roughly 12, I would say, 12 or 13. Of course, sometimes she can be upwards of 16. It just depends on who's writing her. But, she's clearly younger than Dick Grayson here. I almost said Tim Drake. This is what I mean. There's no way that's Dick Grayson. Okay, anyway. Okay, so that's interesting. I will say, though, Raven looks good. I have nothing to complain about Raven. And also the cast of Robin is very good. Like I said, directionally, it's a little bit questionable which direction they're taking him. But we'll have to wait and see. That might not be representative of who he is as a character. Overall, they might have just taken the very, very moody parts and put it in there for the trailer for dramatic effect. Okay. Now let's move on to the good stuff. Okay, Beast Boy is not too bad. I mean, let's keep in mind that Beast Boy was cast by this kid who made this fan trailer trying to be Robin, and he sent it to DC and it got retweeted a bunch of times or something. And the whole reason that he was like asking for motivation is because we need like diversity, and he's Asian and he wanted to be like an Asian Tim Drake. And then they typecast him as Beast Boy. And then I saw him tweet later, like, it's really important to have this diversity. And I just wanted to tweet at him, like, Beast Boy's green, right? Like, he's not Asian. He's green. He's, he met him. Okay. Like, I don't even know where to begin with that. This diversity, it makes no sense. And it's the same thing with Starfire too, because Starfire looks nothing like her character. And it's nothing to do even with the hair, which looks terrible. Okay, it actually has a lot to do with the hair. And it lights up, and I understand that, and she has the green eyes, the CGI green eyes, okay, but even with that, she doesn't look like Starfire at all. And you can look at cosplayers that do her way, way better. She just looks way better. First of all, she looks like a hooker. With this purple dress, it looks absolutely terrible. How does anybody fight in that? It just looks absolutely awful. Now, I mean, sexuality is an important part of Starfire's character. So, in case you don't know a little bit of backstory on her, she's from Tamaran. She's Tamaranian, okay? Which is like this kind of think of like the Amazons, but in outer space and even more sexual, okay? So they don't really wear much clothes there, but it's not like in a sexual way. Like, sexuality is not like a taboo, I guess, like people would say that it is here on Earth or whatever. People just dress, scantily, and it's just normal because that's just their culture. At least that's the way it's normally represented. Okay, and yes, Tamaranians are orange. She's not. She's like purple when she's lit up, and her eyes are like green, and she looks like 50. She kind of looks like Oprah in the still that I'm looking at right now from that movie, the most recent Disney movie that was also pretty bad, I think. Anyway, A Wrinkle in Time, I think it was. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to watch that trailer like 70,000 times at the previews for movies that I was trying to see, like, oh my God, this movie looks awful. Okay, anyway. Sorry if I'm being negative. I know a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, you're just being pessimistic. Like, but do keep in mind, okay, I love every DC movie. I gave Suicide Squad a 9 out of 10, so I can only be so pessimistic. I mean, I would like to think that I'm actually a very optimistic person and fan. But I mean, look at Starfire. She looks terrible. And let's just Google here. Let me open up a screen recorder really quick. Okay, so screen recording. Okay. Now we just got to look at this. Just watch this. Okay, let me exit out of my email. Starfire cosplay. Okay, let's look at this. These look better. Look at this. Okay, and somebody tweeted me a really good one. Let me pull this up too. A really good... Oh, here it is. Expectation versus reality. Thank you, Jurgen, for tweeting me this. I retweeted. Look at this, dude. She looks really, really good as Starfire. And this is just terrible. Okay, I'm not going to make that comment. Actually, I will make that comment. It's not all about the curves. Like, yes, in the comic, she definitely is presented in that way. But you can see, this cosplayer doesn't really have them. But she still is a very, very convincing Starfire. Okay. This, I mean, look at the hair alone. The hair has to be longer. What is this? Oh, my God. The hair is so bad. It's just terrible. And people are like, oh, this is not the main costume she's going to have. But then you go here and that's exactly what she's wearing. Oh my God, it looks so abysmal. And she's only in the thing. And one thing that I noticed is that in the trailer, it's only her in action. Okay, so it's not like her regular look. And look at this. It's the exact same thing. She's wearing the coat too. It literally is the exact same thing. They just make her hair a little bit more... Oh my God. And she shoots fire, first of all. Okay. Like, look how good this is. She looks really, really good. And the green eyes are much more convincing than the CGI, and they could light the CGI hair up on this person. Now, I'm not saying this person's a good actor. I'm just saying she looks like the comics. I mean, let's get up a comic image. I really like Amanda Connor's 12-part pre-Rebirth run. I know most people didn't read it because most people don't read comics, but it's good. I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. It's, like kind of like a fun, teen kind of drama appeal, and I'm not a teenager anymore, I guess. But, whatever. It's a good read. It's very, very enjoyable. Okay. So I'll put some pictures up here. And you can see that the person on the left is a very, very convincing Starfire. And this is on a shoestring budget. The one on the right, she actually has a real budget. And she just looks absolutely horrible. Nothing is correct. The hair is terrible. The suit is terrible. I mean, the black lipstick. Oh, it's just so bad. There's no way of even spinning this. I mean, you can be as optimistic as you want. If you're gonna comment below that you think Starfire looks good, I'm just gonna tell you that I don't believe you and that you're lying. I don't know why you're like kidding yourself or why you're like dispelling lies in my comment section, but it's just not true. It's objectively false. I'm just kidding. Okay, I mean, I guess if you really, 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 really think that this is like the Starfire on the big screen, okay, I think she looks horrible. Okay, last one, Beast Boy. Well, I talked about him a little bit. As I said, he's a fan that made a video of him kicking people, and he's like, let me be Robin. And then they're like, well, we can't give you Robin, but we'll give you Beast Boy. And he's like, oh, look at this Asian representation in film or in, shows. And then you get to it and he's green. It's just like, what are you talking about? You're green. You're not... Asian people aren't green. People aren't green. Okay, anyway. I mean, the diversity stuff in comic book movies just is absolutely insane because most people aren't human. Just like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Starfire, and people are probably going to be like, oh, it's so good. Starfire's diverse. Like, she's orange. What are you fucking talking about? She's not. She's from Tamaran, a fictional planet somewhere in the ethos, with orange people that wear bathing suits all day and shoot fire out of their hands. What the fuck are you talking about with diversity? Okay, anyway. Okay, so hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Okay, am I going to watch the show? I think it's interesting. I'll probably watch it alone for the Dick Grayson stuff. And I don't mean to be like the bandwagon Batman fan. Like, I really do like Starfire. I would say I really, really like Starfire as a character. I would say I'm a fan of Beast Boy. I mean, I'm not like over the top. And then I would also say that I, of course, really, really like Raven. I've read a lot of her Rebirth stuff as well. So I'm fans of these characters. It's not just like, oh, I only care about, Batman or GTFO, or anything like that. Raven, I'm looking forward to. Dick Grayson, I'm looking forward to. Allusions to the Bat family, that kind of thing I'm looking forward to. Perhaps introductions into Raven's sort of world, of course, with like Trigon and her daddy issues of her own. That would be very interesting to see. I imagine they will go down that route, of course. And then as for Starfire, I just see her. It doesn't look like Starfire, not even a little bit. It's just not convincing. It's just bad. So there's nothing to look forward to with that. In regards to Beast Boy, I guess, like I said, I'm indifferent. The actor is not really, he was in like probably Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He kind of looks like that kid from that movie. So yeah, I think he was like a Disney Channel kid or something. I don't know. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. Will I watch the show? Hopefully. It's $75 a year. Now I'll make a separate video about the DC Universe subscription service and the cost and all that kind of stuff. But all I will need to say is that I'm not paying $75 a year for this. Now maybe I'll pay $75 a year for this and other shows that are interesting, like maybe put on Batgirl or Red Hood or Harley Quinn or a Mira spinoff, perhaps, if we want to go, Aquaman world. There's a lot of different directions we could maybe go. Supergirl, maybe go Green Lantern. All these things would be difficult to make under the seemingly low budget that we have here. But at the same time, anything is better than nothing. And also, one thing that I will say, well, I'll talk about this in my next video, but DC, don't shy away from animation. If there's anything that I've learned is that live action of comic book shows, usually it doesn't end that well. If it does end up right, it's usually a very grounded characters, right? like the Dark Knight or... and of course, we're excluding Man of Steel with like a $200 million budget. Okay, so we're talking about like TV, Green Arrow or something like that. Yeah, Supergirl is really, really tough to do on the low budget that they have. And even though I watched that show for some time and enjoyed it, the budget can really, really take a hit on your enjoyment factor. And that's something to keep in mind when you're considering, everything overall. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I've rambled on for long enough. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. My name is Slick Moth. I'll see you guys in the next one.